We're going viral here on First Things First. Lakers have lost 3 in a row, but don't tell Lonzo Ball what is happening. He's dancing like there's no tomorrow.
Why you put this on the internet, man?
Oh my God. What is that? Tell me, please explain.
Man, I know they say dance like nobody is watching, but we are watching because you put it on the gram. What are you doing, man?
Now, Cece, you've given me a lot of dance pointers. I can't imagine this is one of them that you say do more of. This would be do less of.
I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what type of dance he's doing. Like, these professional athletes, they don't have nothing better to do. They're doing a lot of dancing now. This is the most dancing generation of athletes I've ever seen.
I haven't seen other professional players post this kind of stuff.
Man, come on.
That is not...
I seen, well, like Clay.
Someone's filming that, though. Someone's sitting there filming it.
Or he said
let me tell you something. Nick Wright, what are you doing with your shirt off?
What? Nothing.
Well, that's what I'm doing. What's he doing? Even if you took the video, put a T-shirt on.
Yeah, man.
Like, you don't have the type of body that needs to be revealed to the public.
Amen. Good advice. It's good advice, CC. Ain't no shirtless videos of me going around. Nope. Leave that all to the imagination. I couldn't even get the joke out. I couldn't even get the joke out.
There you go. There you go, Nick. That's a kid's playground. All that. A kid's playground.
Yep. Get all up in there.
That's what we think about. Even the viewers from Trinidad. I wonder what my friend's body looked like under that suit and tie.
All right. Oh, my gosh. That's okay. I think you have a great physique.
Thank you, Jeff.
Stories to start your morning. Dwight Howard turned back the clock last night with 32 points, 30 boards, and a win over the Nets. It's the first 30-30 game in the NBA in 8 years, only the second since 1982. Nick, how surprised were you by this?
Listen, 30-30 gonna surprise you. It has only happened prior to last night once in my lifetime. Once. It happened in 2010. Kevin Love did it. That was the first one since Moses Malone in 82. Dwight did it last night. Now, this is a good chance we can do two things. One, remind people Dwight is, of this era, one of the best rebounders, one of the best defensive centers we've seen in the last 15 years. Also remind people, Wilt Chamberlain gave folks the business nightly. There's been 156 of these 30-30 games in NBA history. Wilt's got 124 of them.
Wow.
Every other player ever has 32 combined. Dwight now joins that list. That's a tough list to add himself to.
Yeah, according to Jordan Clarkson, Wilt was walking around with the dinosaurs. He was the one with the dinosaurs as pet. So it is a monumental for Dwight. Because we're not going to be talking about him a lot doing shows like this. To have that 30-20 at this point in his career.
30-30.
30-30, which most people would consider Dwight as an underachiever based on his talent. Coming out of high school, out of Atlanta, people thought for sure he was going to be at least, God bless you, and Dwight Howard, a superstar for at least 15 years. Offensively, he didn't live up to that billing. Also, not well liked on some of the teams, stayed in the media for a lot of different reasons. But for me, I wish he would have been a better offensive player. I wish he had a go-to offensive move, one or two. Always been athletic, always has avoided injuries, which typically big men aren't able to do. But
that's the fair criticism. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he didn't develop his offensive game once his athleticism left him.
Moving on, James Harden is on track to win the MVP award. His head coach not only thinks he deserves that, but one that doesn't exist, the MVPE, the most valuable player ever. Mike D'Antoni says that James Harden is the best offensive player he's ever seen. Nick, how far off is D'Antoni's assessment? I
mean, it's very far off. James Harden, you can make a lot of things for James Harden. Daryl Morey said he's the best isolation player ever. I'll listen to that. I'd have to really dive into it. Is he one of the top 5 shooting guards ever? Absolutely. Is he the best offensive player in the league right now? Maybe. You can certainly make the argument. He's going to win the MVP, and it's not because of his defense. But is he the best offensive player ever? Like, no, of course not. I don't think right now he's currently in the top 10 offensive players ever.
What about the guys who are playing the game now? Who are the best offensive players that play the game now?
I think it goes LeBron, KD, Harden. People can argue about the order. Steph, well, I can't leave out Steph.
Yeah, what the thank you.
Can't leave out Steph. Yeah. No, I was thinking about the MVP list, but Steph's been injured. Yeah, Steph's on that list as well. So, sure.
Is Steph a better offensive player than LeBron?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think he, but that's on him. But is he a better offensive player than Harden?
I don't think he's a better offensive player because Harden's assists and his ability to get to the line.
Right.
All right. But the guys who currently play the game, I think Kevin Durant is the best offensive player. I think Harden is second, him and Steph. I think LeBron is third or fourth in that. Now, let's not take anything away from him. Harden, let's not take away anything from his MVP season. But, you know, Coach has been alive longer than Nick. But ever is not how long you've been alive. Forever is forever. So the guys that I know that have played this game offensively, even of just recent history, Kobe Bean Bryant was a better offensive player than Harden because of two aspects that Harden doesn't have. Harden does not have a low post game, and Harden cannot finish above the rim like Kobe could do. So he can't be as good as Kobe in my book.
All right, moving on to the NFL. Plenty of question marks surrounding the health of Teddy Bridgewater's surgically repaired knee. When asked if he was close to 100% and if he was going to participate in off-season workouts with the Jets, Bridgewater said that he wasn't comfortable talking about it right now. Cece, what are fair expectations for Bridgewater?
Oh, this is tough right here. I believe Teddy Bridgewater is still a starting quarterback. So right now they have Josh McCown signed. He's got a guaranteed contract. So it looks like he's going to be on the roster. I wouldn't be shocked if Teddy starts the season as the starter. I believe that's reasonable expectations. There's some question marks as far as his knee, the health. Why could I say that? Based on the guarantee or the lack of guaranteed money that Teddy only have. Only $500,000 of that guarantee. But if he is the starting quarterback for the Jets, I believe Teddy Bridgewater, his career is back on track.
I think he's the best quarterback on the roster, and I think he will be the best quarterback on the roster in week 1, even if they will draft a quarterback third overall. Like that quarterback will be the quarterback of the future. That doesn't mean the quarterback of 2018. And maybe there's a little baked-in optimism because I like Teddy so much. But my expectation is that he's the week 1 starter for the New York Jets. We saw him play a football game last year, so he's healthy enough to get on the field.
Which was big.
Running was never. I know in this one highlight we're showing Teddy rolling out to his right. That's a designed rollout play. He is not a mobile quarterback. He's just like, he's a black guy, and if you don't watch him play, you're like, oh, he must be a runner. He's not a running quarterback.
No.
He is a pocket passer. I think he'll be able to deal with the knee injury, and I think he's better than Josh McCown.
All right, finally, Sam Darnold, the projected first pick in this year's draft, took part in USC's Pro Day in the rain yesterday. The USC standout quarterback wowed a crowd of coaches, GMs, draft experts. Our Joel Klatt was there, and here's what he took away.
He had one of the most, I would say, best pro days I've seen in a long time. Coming away from today, and this is the earliest I've said this in this process, the New York Giants are on the clock. Because I think the #1 pick was totally solidified today.
It's a lot of hype that Sam Darnold has to live up to, CC. How hard is that going to be for him?
And we see this every year. We get in this little vacuum where we start evaluating the college players, who's coming out, who's the best, who has the most talent, who has the highest ceiling, who's got the lowest floor, all these things. But Sam Darnold, I believe he's going to be a great player in the NFL. Now, does he go to the right team? Does he get the right supporting cast? I believe the Cleveland Browns are ready to get it turned around. I believe they're doing the right thing by drafting Josh. They also Sam, excuse me. They also have to continue to improve that offense. Josh Gordon, he's going to be there. They exercise the option on his contract. They traded for Jarvis Landry, who is going to be their #1 receiver and playmaker. They lost Joe Thomas as a left tackle. That is a concern of mine. But if they can get Sam Darnold with the #1 pick and also get the running back, who I believe is the best offensive player in the draft in Barkley, then, man, yes, he can live up to that hype. Every year, though, the guys, they struggle because they're going to the worst teams. They don't have the great supporting cast, and typically they are going to a coach that does not have long-term security. So I believe Darnold does live up to the hype, though, Jenna.
I just want people to be fair about what living up to the hype actually means. I think Cam Newton, if the Panthers could do it all over again, he would go #1 to them again.
Right.
He's only been a top 5 quarterback in this league 1 year of his career. Matt Ryan, if they could do it all over again, I think they were drafting 3 or 4 that year, but they would do it all over again. In fact, the team that drafting #1 would have taken Matt Ryan that year, now that we know. He's only been a top 5 quarterback 1 year of his career. It is very hard to get yourself into that top tier Brady hasn't gone anywhere. Breeze hasn't gone anywhere. Rodgers isn't going anywhere. So I think people need to. Sam Darnold can be the right player and the right pick, and still be closer to Matt Ryan than to Aaron Rodgers. Like, because you're the #1 overall pick, people ascribe to you, oh, well, if this guy's not a Hall of Famer, it was the wrong pick. At quarterback, that's not really the fair math to do, at least in my eyes.
No, it's not. I believe that we'll get 3 starters out of this draft. But also, there's always someone that's going to ascend, a lot like Carson Wentz, and then they're going to be someone that you'll be like, oh, man, this guy, he's not our franchise quarterback, and we made a mistake. So Sam Darnold, I believe, is the safest pick, but also I believe that in doing that, there's still a tremendous upside to his growth because I believe he's a better athlete than people give him credit for.
All right, moving on. After plenty of controversy and discussion on what is and what isn't and what should and what shouldn't be a catch, it seems like we have some clarity heading into next NFL season. After Troy Vincent confirmed there would be changes, Al Riveron, the VP of officiating, detailed exactly what those changes likely will be. Put up full screen. The competition committee recommended that a reception will constitute 1, control, 2 feet down or another body part, and 3, a football move. So, CeCe, take us through a little bit of what this means and what players and fans will be looking forward to next year.
Well, when you look at number 3, the third step it's fairly easy for the fan to adjust. So not only you watching when is the ball secure, we always watch, does he have 2 feet down? So now what you have to watch for, remove going to the ground. You have to watch for either a third step, either reaching for the yard to gain or the pylon or the end line. Those are the things that we know to be common to the game. So you have to change your eye, what you're going to look for. And that third step becomes important. So now you've survived the ground. Now you don't have to worry about does the ball move. I think for fans, it will take some adjustment time, but this will remove the chaos that we have on any given Monday when you have a couple plays that fans wonder, man, I don't know what a catch is now. So I think that will be removed. And the fans also need to realize that this was done for them. It's not done for the NFL. It's not done for the players. It's not done for the coaches. Not done for the referee.
Oh, wait, would the players want this? Do you think that if you asked all the players, do you think they wanted a rule change?
Players or people in general want it as easy as possible. And this makes the game easier to catch it. It doesn't make the game easier to referee. Now, we're hoping that it makes it better to watch. That part we don't know, and that's the part that I just want people to give some time to breathe so we can adjust to these new rules.
I like, theoretically, we obviously haven't seen in practice, I like what they're doing with the new rules. I was a proponent of removing the going to the ground. But the Dez Bryant play is an interesting one because under the new rules, the Dez Bryant play would be a touchdown, or I'm sorry, would be a catch. But it is, if you watch this, where he bobbles it there. I just want people to understand under this new rule. If at the end there, he didn't re-secure it, and instead that ball goes out of bounds, under the new rules, that's a fumble touchback.
Yeah, if it goes through the back of the end zone, yes.
And the back of the end zone's always been the rule, but the reason I'm pointing out is the fumble component of this. When you and I have talked off the air, Chris, one of your concerns about removing the to-the-ground component is people need to now realize you're going over the middle. You're untouched, but you're stumbling. You catch the ball. You take a few stumbling steps. You're not near the end zone to where you can, the world stops at the goal line. You fall into the ground. When you hit the ground, the ball pops loose. That is no longer an incomplete pass. Yep. That is a fumble. So people do need to be prepared for that.
There will be more fumbles in football. Now, if you want more catches, okay, you have to, if y'all don't want the ground involved, now, this was one thing I laughed about to the committee and to Roger. How you going to remove the ground, and that's the surface you're playing on? They didn't have an answer for that one, even though they did change the rules. So I understand why you would bring in verbiage to eliminate the ground, but it's really, really hard because now the ground can cause a fumble because you removed the ground.
So we've solved everything? There are going to be no more controversies next year? No more Monday morning discussions?
I will say this. There will be less controversy around the goal line. Because then you don't have to worry about the fumble component.
Because you can break the plane.
You can break the plane and it's over. But that Jesse James play, if it happens in the field of play, what that would have been is a catch, a fumble, and him recovering his own fumble. So that is what we will be looking for in this upcoming season.
Shuck it to me.
Oh, this is risky. Good job, Jim.
No, we know it's
so
risky.
much more athletic
Yeah.
than you give me credit for.
Yeah, we know what's risky.
What's risky?
Coming up, you involved in anything.
Jenna's next read, too.
Okay, that is not. Okay, you know what? I thought we were on the same. I thought we were picking up
Yeah, I
here.
spread it out. I get him one, then I get you.
Well received. Coming up, did LeBron James solidify the Cavs as the team to beat in the East? Well read, well said. Next on First
Tell me
Things
something.
First.
Did you say chuck that to me or shuck it to me?
Whatever.
Because it's a little shucky ducky, a little different than chuck it. Chuck that shucky ducky to me, Jenna.